time for coffee with an acting improviser. So I got mine. Go get yours. Come on back. We'll sit down. We'll talk for a while. And the word of the day is regale. There you have it. The word of the day is regale. And that's only important because in my mind it's important. Because I looked up the word of the day for the 24th of October, which is what today is. 1 week away from Halloween. Happy Samhain. Happy New Year to all of you who celebrate it that way. Happy Halloween to everybody who just likes free candy. And if you don't like any of it, I don't even know what to say to you. So we'll just move on. The word of the day is regale. And that makes me think of exactly what it should, because regaling is telling stories, and it's what we do. We sit down here and we talk and we tell stories, and I share things with you, and I regale you with just moments of complete senselessness occasionally, and sometimes things that seem almost wise, or at least in my mind they do when I'm rolling back and editing it and listening it to the 23rd time of the day, trying to get it all out there for you. But regale makes me think of regale, and regale makes me think of just plain storytelling. And the thing I love about that is that that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. That's what this camera setup and everything that I'm doing here is all about. That's what my acting career is all about. It's all about storytelling and connections and, sharing things that, as I watched films and television growing up, it was such a huge part of my life, and it had such an impact on my life. And not just because it entertained me, but it helped me understand things that I didn't understand. And sometimes it just made me feel like I was represented on television by somebody that I could understand. My favorite characters in television were always the people that I could identify with. I told you last week how Will Robinson on Lost in Space was one of my favorite characters in the show, because at the age that I discovered this program and started watching it, I could have been him in space. So I made that connection. And he had problems with his siblings and moving and all stuff that every brat has to deal with. New places, new times, all over the place. It connected to my life in a way that I couldn't even grasp the meaning of it at the time that it was happening, but it was important to me. And it was because I got it at a certain level. Not because I ever traveled in a spaceship, obviously, but because I had definitely traveled and I had started over and I had to recreate my life in different places every time I moved. So there it was. That story that was being shared with me in that medium was important to me and helped me, carried me through stuff that, I didn't have any other way of understanding or explaining it to anybody. As I grew older, I knew that that was something that I wanted to do. And so I started thinking of ways that I could do that. Obviously, I watched a lot of great stuff come and go, and I was sure that I was going to make movies when I was coming out of high school, but I was pretty certain that I was going to be behind the scenes. I wanted to be a producer or a director like Steven Spielberg or George Lucas. I wanted to be John Dykstra doing special effects. I would have been happy with almost anything going on. I never imagined myself in front of the camera, on the other side of that thing, where you're looking at me now. That just didn't process in my mind. I never thought that I was that guy, which is weird because now that's all I can imagine when I get up in the morning, and at the end of the day, I'm thinking, maybe I should produce or direct something. Maybe I should write something. It's completely flipped. But here I am. I went through school. I joined the service, and I was trying to find a way to get into film and television from, small town Texas, and there was no way for me to really reach it. But in the service, I had an opportunity. I went on Open Electronics, and I was going to have a chance to work with the Armed Forces Radio and Television Services, AFARTs, as we knew them when I was growing up. And that was exciting to me. I wanted that to happen, but I missed. I didn't get that job. I ended up in Space Systems Operations, which was so exciting to me because when I saw what it was and I read that job description, I was involved in the space program. Now, you could go all kinds of ways with being in television and film. And then you could be involved with space systems. And that was just like my science fiction fantasy. I wasn't going to be in space. No, because I had glasses and they don't do that. They don't put people with glasses in spaceships. That's okay. That's fine. I don't mind that. But I was going to work with systems. And that was so big to me. And it was good that I had planned to go for a full career because I ended up spending 21 years doing it. And I don't regret. Well, I do regret some minutes of it because there were some assignments that I had that I did not like, but I don't regret the career at all. And when I got out, I was thinking about what I was going to do when I got out again, and it didn't even occur to me initially that I could go into film and television now. It occurred to me to do what I had learned, and I had learned along the way how to do IT and computer systems, so I decided that that was what I was going to follow on with. So I went into contract work and started working in computer systems and computer security, things that I had done while I was active duty, and now I can do them as a contractor. Until I was catching up on some of my favorite shows again, and sitting down watching Doctor Who with my wife and my youngest kiddo. And at the end of the episode, I realized that whole thing that I was thinking that I wanted to do when I was young was still there, still very much alive, just deep and bubbling up a little bit more every day. And it finally reached a point where I had to address it. And I was sitting there watching this episode and it ended and it was so good. I wish I could tell you which episode it was. I can't even remember the date anymore, but I remember laying on the couch and my wife and kiddo being on the other side of the room. We were all watching it, and I sat there and I looked at it and I went, you know what? I want to act. And they took it in stride because I say things like that sometimes, but I meant it. That moment was when I decided that I was going to make an acting career. And they figured that out immediately afterwards because I immediately set out to start making that happen. What could I study? Where could I go to train? What could I do? Join an improv troupe and start building a resume of live performances. And shortly after I joined the improv troupe, I got to get into my first stage performance. Now, I had done stage when I was in elementary school, but I remember one thing, and that was at Glenmore Elementary School down in Texas. I was playing a fake violin with straws instead of a bow. And I don't remember anything else about it. So that wasn't my seminal moment of performing at all. It was a footnote in my history. The fact that I remember it at all seems significant to me. But that was it. That moment I went, and there all of a sudden I was doing improv in front of a live audience. And then I was preparing for a stage show. And it wasn't just a show. We were doing Hamlet, and we were doing on alternate nights Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. So there was a lot to deal with there. Thankfully, because I was the greenhorn on the stage, they didn't give me too much to deal with. 4 or 5 walk-on speaking lines, characters through Hamlet, and one of the supporting players in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. But man, that was awesome. And I moved on from there, and I spent as much time doing theater as I could. And then I built that resume with theater and improv, and I found an agent in Denver, and then I started trying to get some work up there. But the work up there was different, is different. It's commercials. And that's really not what I've been doing. And it's not really the same level of storytelling. And the preparation that I've been doing doesn't really build me up for that. So I joined a new workshop, and they were teaching me how to do it. And I didn't quite click. But I knew that there was some real good productions going on down in Albuquerque. And I couldn't wait to get myself lodged into that market because they were making television and they were making movies, and Colorado doesn't do that. I have to travel. And I got really lucky. And Steve Austin hooked me up, took me down with him to one of the film conferences that they were having down there, where I met some of the agents who work in the area, and I got connected with my Albuquerque agent, Carissa, and she's amazing, and we clicked, and I've been with her ever since. And through that relationship and that partnership, I've gotten to be on 2 shows and a movie and work and join the union and be the actor that I am today. And I'm not done by a long shot. I feel like I've really only just started. You know, it takes time to really build these things. And coming off of COVID and everything else, and now sitting through the strike at 100+ days, it's hard. Nobody said it was going to be easy. A lot of people said it would be hard. Some people even said, if you can think of anything else that you would be doing happily, go do that instead. And I think that's insane, because I could do other things, but nothing else is as satisfying as this, is as good as this. This is my wish for everybody who's out there. And it's something that I've learned for myself and strive to dive into and make my own reality, which is the thing that you love to do. Find a way to do that. Be happy first. You can make lots of money. Great. Make lots of money. Do that. But if you're not happy, why? What are you doing with it? If you have to spend 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours a day doing something you don't like in order to go home and watch a large screen TV and a nice house, but you're not happy, be happy first. Find ways to make yourself happy, because if you're happy, sometimes you don't even need $1 million. I'm maybe never going to have $1 million. I have made my peace with that because I'm happy, because I have the things that I need. I have the people in my life that I need. I have the job that I love, and I have the opportunities coming around all the time to keep building on all of that. So do that. Do that first. And Regale took me down a path. It did, didn't it? Well, that's okay. That's all right. Thanks for sitting and listening to me. I think I've probably used up enough of my time. Yes, I have. I used up my time. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to say thank you for stopping by and listening to me talk at you for somewhere around 12 minutes or so. If you enjoyed it, great. If you didn't, well, sorry. Next week, next episode, I have another chance to get your attention again. The thing is keep getting out there and doing the thing that you enjoy doing, the thing that matters to you. It's one of the reasons why I keep getting in front of this camera and talking to you, because it matters to me. So here we are. Like it, follow it, share it with somebody, any of that stuff that you want to do. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed your coffee. I'm going to finish mine now and get to work on editing this thing. You have a great week, and I'll see you in 2 more after Halloween. Happy New Year. Happy Halloween. Bye.